Documented history is frequently a chaotic sequence of events that defy the logic of a textbook. When we peel back the layers of recorded reality, we find a world that operates on an impulse far stranger than fiction. Take certain spiritual rituals. There are communities in the world today that incorporate modern commercial soda into their most sacred religious practices. At this vivid green and white church in Mexico, worshippers treat Coca-Cola as a literal healing mechanism. The theology is straightforward. Believers consume the carbonated drink to intentionally induce a heavy burp, which they believe forcefully expels hidden evil spirits and negative energy right out of the body. Human physical traditions are equally startling. In the World Eskimo Indian Olympics, athletes compete in a specialized ear-pulling competition. Two competitors loop a sinew string behind their ears and pull directly against each other until one competitor yields to the pain, or the string slips. This logic isn't limited to humans. In the animal kingdom, scientists discovered that male fruit flies exhibit a specific behavioral shift when dealing with romantic rejection. This chart maps the dietary choices of fruit flies. The baseline data shows that successfully mated males consume almost zero alcohol when given the choice. Their brain chemistry is already satisfied. But for the rejected males, the alcohol intake spikes dramatically. Lacking the chemical reward of mating, these flies self-medicate, turning to alcohol to artificially replace the dopamine hit they missed out on. If you want to keep uncovering these hidden realities, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to Unfiltered. These behaviors, whether fueled by spiritual tradition or biological frustration, reveal a foundational, often irrational logic. This same unpredictability governs the human experience, setting the stage for the increasingly high-stakes experiments that defined the modern world. While we often associate space travel with human pioneers, we were late to the threshold. A long list of earthly inhabitants crossed into the vacuum of space decades before the first astronaut. Starting in 1947, a massive roster of non-human test subjects was blasted into orbit. The list includes cats, spiders, ants, tortoises, and even microscopic tardigrades. Early exploration relied heavily on primates. This chimp, Ham, was tightly secured in a specialized mesh vest inside his cramped capsule, serving as a biological proxy to test the survivability of zero gravity. Canine subjects faced equally restricted conditions. This dog is strapped into a customized cylindrical metal flight container, engineered to lock her into place during the extreme physical stress of a rocket launch. 500 years before launching animals into orbit, human engineering was already producing complex machinery. In the late 1400s, Leonardo da Vinci was secretly building a fully functional robotics project. Encased in German-Italian armor, da Vinci's mechanical knight was driven by a system of internal pulleys, cables, and interlocking gears. By winding up a single mechanism, this early robot could stand up, sit down, lift its visor, and move its limbs independently, mimicking human anatomical movement centuries before electricity. From the first primate in orbit to the intricate ears of a Renaissance knight, these milestones highlight the audacity required to push into the unknown. Yet this same confidence in our technical innovation often ignores the volatile human element, creating a dangerous friction between invention and consequence. The early 20th century medical industry is a prime example of this friction. Regulation was nearly non-existent, allowing companies to market powerful substances directly to the public with zero long-term testing. In 1898, the Bayer Company synthesized heroin and aggressively marketed it to parents. They bottled and sold it as a safe, everyday cough remedy for children, despite growing evidence of its addictive nature. Institutional danger reached new heights during the Cold War. Unethical radiation experiments were conducted on indigenous populations in the United States, injecting them with radioactive isotopes specifically to observe the biological damage. Even when the goal was purely promotional, the lack of foresight proved lethal. In 1986, a charity event in Ohio attempted a massive public relations stunt known as the Cleveland Balloon Fest. The plan was a harmless world record. Organizers released 1.5 million helium balloons simultaneously into the heart of the city, but a cold front pushed the balloons back to the surface. Millions of them descended onto Lake Erie, creating an impenetrable debris field on the water. This grounded Coast Guard rescue helicopters and made it impossible to locate two missing fishermen, directly causing their deaths by drowning. However, the ultimate example of a bizarre act turning lethal occurred 2,500 years ago during a volatile political standoff. During Passover, thousands of Jewish worshippers gathered at the ancient Temple of Jerusalem. They were monitored by armed Roman troops stationed on the overlooking roofs of the temple courtyards. The catalyst for the disaster was an act of pure vulgarity. A Roman soldier stationed above the crowd intentionally broke formation, lifted his robe, and flatulated at the worshippers as a targeted insult. This single gesture sparked a riot. As worshippers threw stones, the Roman commander quickly called in heavily armed reinforcements. The sudden arrival of military backup triggered a massive, chaotic stampede. In the rush to escape the narrow temple gates, an estimated 10,000 people were crushed to death. The death of 10,000 people, sparked by the single crude gesture, illustrates the terrifying fragility of public order. In the machinery of history, a bizarre joke and a massive tragedy are often separated by nothing more than a split-second reaction. If you want to keep questioning today's definition of normal and uncover the strange realities that shaped our world, make sure to hit that subscribe button for